Hello, happy Wednesday, everybody. All you crafty girls and guys. Not judging here. If we've got some crafty guys, I'd love to see you. I'm just gonna pull you guys up so that I can see your comments. I'm excited to join you tonight. This is not our regular Wednesdays. I kind of was changing it up a little bit this year. I wanted to just have it be a crafty night so we can do cards sometimes, but we can do other things as well. And tonight we are doing something a little bit different. I have been getting lots of questions about cut files. So lots of ladies have never backed them before. And so I thought, well, you know what, let's just hang out tonight and we'll talk about our new cut files. And you guys have been loving them. You're downloading them like crazy, which is amazing. Hi, good evening. Hi, Gail. Hey, Mom. Hey, Shauna. So I thought this would be really fun if we just kind of got together for a few minutes, and I'm going to back some files for you. So I have some cut out, and I've done a few different things. I've reduced some sizes. Hey, Carol. I've kept one full size. So I'm just going to kind of show you my tips and tricks. There are a million different ways you can do this. I'm sure everybody has their own thing that works for them. I'm just going to do it how I like to do it for me. And then hopefully you might just pick up something new along the way. I actually, it's funny. I brought a drink tonight. It's 2 seconds. I'm just going to grab it. Cheers to anyone that decided that on Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock it was time for a drink. I definitely did. I don't usually, especially when I'm I've got things to do and I'm working, but oh my gosh. So I needed a drink today. Cheers. Happy Wednesday. To all of you that made it to Wednesday. Here we are. Oh, you cut some today, Shauna. Oh, that's amazing. I love that. So fun, right? Good. I'm so glad. Well, like I said, I've got a few here to show you. And I'll just kind of show you how I do it. And you know what? You might find some of the things that I do work for you. Some of them don't. But you know what? You'll figure it out. Oh, Lindsay, really? The notification wasn't popping up? That's super weird. Huh. Oh, well, you know what? I had one lady, actually I don't see her here yet, but I had one lady message me today and said that it said 11 p.m. on tonight's live. And I went and checked and it didn't. I think it came up, actually, it was on the 24-hour clock, which was weird. I always put in the regular time. But no, I think it said 7 p.m. Oh, you got liqueur in your coffee. Atta girl. Well, cheers. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. We're here. We made it. We're halfway through. So, okay. Well, I think I'm just going to get started because I have a few that I want to back for you. And it does take a few minutes. Oh, hi, Sharon. How are you? So I'm just going to get going. I'm going to flip the screen over. I'm going to show you. I've got lots of things sitting over there. Shauna, yours said 1 a.m. Oh, that's super weird. Definitely wasn't 1 a.m. Because if I was coming on at 1 a.m., there'd be a problem. Yeah, no, I don't know. It was weird. But you're here now, so that's good. What was it showing? Oh, yeah, it was showing UCT. What the heck is UCT? I have no idea what that is. That's super weird. Oh, well, you're here. I'm glad. So, hello, everybody. Okay, one more sip, and then we're going to start cutting. Okay. All right. I'm switching it over. Happy Wednesday, Allison. Okay, I'm switching your screen here. I'm going to show you. I think it's brighter. I put on a bunch of lights for you guys tonight. So, it's hard at night, obviously, without the natural light. But I think you guys are seeing this a little bit brighter than when we got together the last time. So anyway, I have a whole bunch of things here for you. Hey, Jasmine. Hi. So this is kind of like what I get together when I'm going to go and back a file. Okay, so I've got all my basic tools. These are the things that I'm going to show you tonight. And set those aside. So the things that I get together, number one, super sharp pencil. Okay, so I always sharpen a pencil, and you're going to see why in a minute. But super sharp pencil, my precision scissors, however you like to use them. I have a spring load pair that I love as well, but these are a little Fiskars set. These work really great because they cut right out at the tip. So you just want something precision, nothing too large. So my scissors. This tool I love. This is that multi-purpose tool from Creative Memories. I know lots of companies make something similar. This is my favorite. You can tell, look at that glue on the end. I use it all the time. But I use this. I always have a little ruler kicking around just because you never know. A little paper piercer for just when you're poking out like little smaller pieces when you're pulling them off your mat. So I really like my paper piercer. I work with these tweezers all the time. So these, actually you can get these on the website. There's 2 different sizes. This is the regular size, and then there's also like a little mini set. But I use these constantly. So I've got my little tweezers, my glue, right, with my metal tip because I want something that's going to be able to glue on the smaller pieces. And then a roll of washi tape. And this is optional, and you're going to see where I use that. And again, it's a trick that I like to use. You might not. It's totally up to you. So that's kind of, these are all the things that I get together when I'm going to sit down and back some files. So these are the papers that I pulled out for my big piece that we're going to do together. I'm just going to set these kind of off to the side. I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of how some of the files are cut out. So this, of course, is the Welcome 2021. This is sized down. So the one I'm going to back with you tonight is the Welcome 2021, but it's in the regular size. So the regular size is like this. So you can see this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, so you can see kind of that for a reference. But this is the full size of it. Okay, so then what I did was I sized it down so that this works. Remember we've been talking about, and you'll see kind of in all the descriptions too, that I've given you some ideas of where you can use this. So this is something where if you want to use it in like a smaller album, if you're working like on a 6x8 or a traveler's notebook or in your journal, sizing it down like this might be a really nice option for you. Oh, hey, Michelle. Oh, you're going to have to upgrade to the newer Cricut. They're really, really fun. I've got lots of ladies that are out shopping for machines because these are so, so fun. And actually, I know some ladies are looking for the older style ones, so consider selling it. I know someone just sold one, I believe it was in Calgary recently, and then she was putting that money towards her new upgraded one. So anyway, so this is the smaller version. So obviously I sized it down, and when you use your cutting machines, you can see how you can size them. So this one I went to like 4.5 by 3. So that's a really great way. And then I just backed it all in the same pattern paper. And then you can go ahead and use that on some of your smaller projects. Okay. But here's the thing, when you cut this out, these are all your negative images. So don't get rid of these, right? So you can hang on to these and then you can use that 2021 on another project. Okay, so that's kind of the thing, is when you're cutting all of these things out, don't just toss all the bits. A lot of them you can use. Okay, so for this one I had kept, and I had cut this one out. You can see how this is like a little sanded on the edges because I cut this out of, this was actually like a black tone on tone polka dot. So it had the white core, and then I just gently sanded the edges. And then I've got my 2021. So I'm going to set that aside, but that's just another example of how you can size them down. So when I say that in the description of the cut files, you can totally size them all down. Some of them aren't going to work as well. Like when you've got something that's super wordy and really tight and small, you can't go too small, but that's something where you play around at home and you can kind of figure out what you can do with it. I'm going to set this one aside, this little card, and I'm going to start with the Welcome 2021. So again, I kept all my negative images, and then I have the center piece here for the 0 as well. Okay, so I'm going to put that on after, but I'll set these aside for now. And then we'll just get started. I'm just going to pull that from behind. So a couple of the things that I like to do, and again, you know what? Everyone might have their own ways of doing it. This is just mine. There are no right or wrong. It's crafty time, so there are no mistakes, right? So it's just however it works for you, but these are kind of the ways that I do it. Oh, hey, Melinda. Welcome. Happy 2021. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start. These are the 4 patterns that I chose, and I'm going to kind of, because I have 4 numbers I want to back, I'm going to decide which order that I want them in. So I think I'm going to start with this this one right here, this pattern This is actually from the June sheet. So this paper that I'm using is all from the new Hello 2021 Creative Kit that features the Hello Today collection by Simple Stories. So if you like this, there are a handful left, and I mean a handful because they sold really fast on the weekend. And the next collection I'm going to share with you as well on the card. That one sold out, but it is going to be back in on Friday. They've already shipped it. It'll be on Friday. So anyway, that is what I'm using. So I think this is the order that I want them in. I'm going to go really nice bold pattern and then something a little tone on tone. And then I'm going to do my floral. And then I'm going to do this polka dot. Okay, so I'm going to start here with this one. And you guys, you'll figure out, like, a lot of it is just playtime, right? Like just figuring out what you want to do. So we kept the word solid. The word welcome is solid. So you're only backing your 2021. So I want this pattern showing. So I'm going to flip it over. Okay. So I'm flipping it over here. I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to stay close to where I had already cut on this paper. I'm going to flip it over, but remember, you also want to flip your cut file over, because if you cut it like this, you're not going to have, and then you flip it over, you will have cut it in the wrong shape, right? So flip it over and then flip your cut file over. The reason is, if I go to do it like this, I can. There's nothing terribly wrong with that. But what's going to happen is I might get some pencil on my cut file, which I don't want. And then I also might get some pencil, well, I'm going to get pencil on the pattern paper, but then when I go to glue it on, you might still see some of those little pencil lines, and I don't want to see that, right? You guys know my personality. It's a little too type A for that stuff. So if that doesn't bug you, you go right ahead. It would bug me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip it upside down, and then I'm going to flip this cut file upside down, and then I'm going to trace. So here's what you can do. If you're really handy and your fingers work amazing and you think you can hold this straight while you're tracing, you go right ahead. I sometimes don't feel like I can do it all. Shocking, I know, but so that's where my washi tape comes in. So if you guys don't want to quote unquote waste your washi tape, that's totally fine. You don't have to. You know what? We all have tons. There's lots on this roll. I'm just going to use a couple of pieces. But what I like about the washi tape is it's not going to rip when I pull it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it and I'm going to tape it down here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to tape it down here. I'm going to make sure that I still have room where I want to go ahead and trace, and then I'm just going to put a little piece right here. I still want to keep my finger on here, and that's all good, but this just kind of is going to keep it where I want it. So then I'm going to take my really sharp pencil, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to just take my time. I don't want to go super fast because I don't want anything to move. And then I'm literally just going to trace. Totally back to like elementary school, right? Where you like learn how to copy, paste, trace. So that's all I'm doing. So I just traced that on the inside there. And now these just peel off nice and easy, and I haven't wrecked anything. And if you want to keep that, you totally can. If I'm doing a couple of projects, like I'm going to keep this and I'm going to use it for my next few numbers, obviously. But you can make sure, see, it picked up a little bit of the cardstock, which is fine. It's on the back. But you can just use these again. So just hang on to these. I'm just going to set them aside on my little roll, and I'm just going to peel this guy off, and then you can see that I've got my two. Okay, so now I don't want to be holding on to all of this paper when I'm cutting, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to, if you want to cut it out straight, you totally can. I'm going to cut within the lines so that I'm not wrecking any of these journal cards on my paper. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut that out like that. Okay, and then I'll set my other piece aside. So now here's where you want to make sure. So you have traced the inside of your cut file, right? You've traced the inside, but you need somewhere to glue, right? So depending on the size of a cut file, like this one in particular, we've made this one about 1/4 inch. So you have lots of space to glue on there. So then when you're cutting this, I know I've traced it on the inside. I want to make sure that I'm cutting at least 1/8 inch to the outside of my pencil line. Okay, so that's where I come in here and I literally am just going ahead and I've got at least 1/8 inch And you don't have to do this. This is tedious. Like this isn't super quick, right? You want to make sure you have some time when you're doing it. And then just move your paper around. This is where the spring cut scissors come in really handy. Like this one, of course, I'm having to manually move them, but the spring load, they're really great because you don't have to do a lot of movement. And then I'm coming in there. I'm going to pick my scissors up, come back in. Same thing. So I'm just cutting out, and this is just giving me the spot where I'm going to be able to adhere it to the back of the cut file. Okay. So I'll come nice and close there and there. Okay, so there's my two. So now when I'm ready to go ahead and adhere this, I've got this like this. I'm going to flip my cut file. I know that that's all going to fit. So now I'm ready for my glue. Okay, so that's where having a precision tip glue is really, really important, or super helpful anyway. And then I'm just going to come in and I'm gluing on the back of the cut file. I'm not gluing on the paper. Okay, so you just want to come around and do a nice little thin line close to the inside, right? You don't want to be on the outside edge, so just come close to the inside edge. And that's all you need, okay? And then this is where, and depending on what you're going to do, like I'm doing it on my white mat, but usually you're on like a craft mat that you can clean off. I'm trying to make sure that you can see this without too many shadows. So anyway, so I've got my glue, and then I just go over top of it, and I just start at the bottom so I can still manipulate the top a little bit. And there. And then I flip it back over and I just kind of press down easy. This is that nice quick dry glue. I know I have one tip left in the store, girls. If you don't have this glue, you need it. I know I have one metal tip left, and I have actually a new order that I'm waiting on for glue. So I only have one of these with the metal tip, but I have tons of the glue. And the tip is actually, even if you don't have the metal tip, mine's on pretty tight. I'm just going to show mine really quick. Even if you don't have the metal tip, the tip on this glue is actually pretty small. Here's a brand new one. So see, that's pretty small. So you just want to make sure you have something that's narrow, okay? Yeah, so here, Suzanne, so I sell this in the shop, and it's called Art Glitter Dries Clear. And I've got it in lots of different sizes, and then you buy the tip separate, and it fits on the 2 ounce or the 4 ounce bottle. And then I also sell the 8 ounce refill as well. Okay. Janet, yeah, so you can trace on the outside. You can do it both ways, and I'm going to show you, you can definitely, this is a trickier one to cut, or sorry, to trace on the outside, which is why you're going to find that 9 times out of 10, I'm just going to put this pin in, because when I say it dries quick, I mean that it clogs up your tip if you don't. So something like this, it would be a lot harder for me to trace, because look at these spots here. I'm going to have to just guess up in here. I'm gonna have to guess down here. There's a lot of guessing if you're gonna do the outside. If you've got a cut file that, like lots of our words, our blended words that are, our welded words that that aren't built like stacked on top, you definitely can, but then you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna want to cut on the inside of that line. Okay, so that's where you get a little bit, I find it a lot easier to go on the inside of your file, like where I just find it a little bit easier, because where you're going to be backing, you can get to the inside on all of the pieces, but on the outside, it doesn't always work. Definitely can if it works, and if it's a type of file that you could, but it's not always going to be the easiest. So just remember, if you are going to trace the outside, you want to cut on the inside of your pencil line. Okay. I think I got that question. Everyone's there? Okay, good. Okay, so that's that. So just super quick and easy. So the thing is here, because I did it the way that I did it also, I was able to leave this little spot and this little spot open, which is something that I think is really fun when you go to put it on cardstock, because then you can go ahead and you see that, right? So if you were putting it, say, on this pattern right here, that's really fun, because whatever you've got behind, it shows you. Yeah, you're welcome, Janet. You can see through, so then that's just a little bit more pattern and a little bit more fun, right? So just different ways of tracing your shapes just give you a different effect. So again, I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, so I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to trace on the inside. This one is just a big old circle. This is no big deal, right? So I'm just going to hang on to it. It doesn't have a lot of moving parts. I can do this with my fingers. I'm just going to go ahead and trace that on the inside. I'm going to cut so that I can still use these other journal cards if I want. And then I'm going to go ahead. Oh, look at me. I'm taping myself all over the place. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut just on the outside edge. So this one's really fun because this is where I get to go ahead and put that negative piece of the zero in the center, and that's really fun too. So you could leave it open. You know, the fun thing about big numbers or big letters is that you can leave the centers open. So if you wanted to, girls, this would actually be super cute with a photo in here as well. Okay, so you could go ahead and put a photo in the zero, which would look so fun. So don't be afraid to back them like that too, right? You can put photos in, and then lots of our files we've been adding frames to, and so that we're giving you spots to go ahead and put your photos in, which is really fun. And actually, I'm super, super excited because those girls, if you have not registered yet for my class at the end of the month, you're getting a custom 2-page cut file, which is amazing. We've had so much fun designing it. And I just got the final file type the other day, and I cut it out and it's awesome. So we're going to do a 2-page layout with a custom cut file that we designed for this class. So that's going to be super fun as well. So see, look, fun, right? So then I can go ahead and put this on there. And if you'd wanted to, you could also have traced this before I backed it. I could have got ahead and traced the center, and then I could have cut the center out as well if you wanted to. But I like it like this. I think it looks really great. And then, like I said, if you wanted to put a photo in there, you really could as well. So now I'm just going to go ahead and glue this guy on. So this is where, like I said, I use my tweezers a lot. This way I get to see where I want it. So I've got it here. I know I like it right there, and then I can just kind of stick it on. Oh, that's great. No, I'm glad, Sheila. Well, that's the thing about doing little sessions like this, because sometimes you just need to see it. Like, I'm so visual, and I know lots of you are as well, and sometimes you just need to see somebody doing it, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that makes total sense. So I'm going to go ahead. I want to do this really fun flower, and I'm going to do it for this 2. So same thing. I'm just going to flip my 2 over, and I'm going to pull out my little pieces of washi, and I'm just going to stick this guy down. He's just got a lot of moving spots here, so it's just a little bit more helpful. Get out my new super, super sharp pencil. So again, like that's just where little things like having a super sharp pencil, like that kind of stuff, those are small things, but they just make it so much easier. And if it's easier, it's going to be way more fun, right? Like it's not, can't remember if I went over that spot. Nope, I didn't. It's just going to be way more fun. For something that's a little bit tedious like this, if you can have little tips and tricks that work and make it a little easier to do, well, then that's cool, right? So, okay. So there's my other 2. Same thing. I'm just going to cut this guy out like this. Set that one aside. Okay. You know, and I've precision cut for years, girls. I've always been someone, or fussy cut, people call it as well. I'm someone that likes it. I find it super soothing. It's one of those things, like I always have movies and stuff on in my studio when I'm working, and it's just one of those things that it's like this mindless little calming thing. But remember, I also like to iron too. So I'm one of those weird people that is super satisfied by getting wrinkles out of clothes. So precision cutting is just one of those things that I don't mind doing. And I am going a little bit quicker here than I normally would because I just don't want you guys to have to sit and watch this for forever, but I do want to finish this file for you. And then I want to show you, I'm going to move on to this little card because I also reduced the size of another one of our brand new cut files, which I totally love, and it's super fun, and I want to show you one way of doing it, and then I actually have a Valentine's project I'm going to share with you in another week or so using the same file. So I want to get this guy backed so I can move on and show you the other bits. So I'm just going to get some glue on the back of him. The other thing too, like I know lots of ladies will just run these through like their sticker makers, like their Xyron sticker makers. I don't, because I like to have a little more control over what has sticky on it. But if you're doing one like this one, obviously I'm doing with multiple patterns, but if you wanted to just back this whole thing in the same pattern, that would be an easy way to do it as well. So hold at the bottom, and then I can get my top. My fingers are totally sticking to my project. If you don't like sticky fingers, backing cut files isn't going to be for you. Okay, there we go. Cool? Oh, I can add a little bit more glue up in here. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the one. I'm going to do this in my pinky red color. Oh, yeah, Sharon. So if you're stuck to your mat, I don't stick mine down super hard, just so you know. Like if you've got a mat that you take really good care of or it's brand new, don't push it down really, really hard because it is for sure, it definitely can tear coming off of your mat. Absolutely. And that's where this tool I love. So when it's on my mat, I wonder if I have, oh, look, I haven't even cleaned this mat. So look, this mat wasn't cleaned from when I was cutting out some of the things for the session tonight. So look, when it's like, so I've pulled obviously off, but like when they are first coming down, that's where I take this end and then look, I just go right underneath like this. So see how that just, and I'm pushing down and kind of like hard and getting underneath, hard getting underneath. So I use this when I'm taking off my mat, and I'll do it, so like if I have my big, so like this file in particular, so if this was on here, I would be coming along like this, and I get the whole edge of everything, and then I kind of shove it underneath. So that's also, so don't push down super, super hard on your mat, and then also using a tool like this. I agree, Nadine, this Creative Memories tool is literally, honestly, it is one of the best tools. I have 3 of them. I ordered 2 more just before Christmas, and I have 3 of them, and they're always sitting around. So I think it's called the multi-purpose tool. Anyway, that's what I do. So I hope that those things maybe will help you as well. Okay, I want to get this one done, and then I want to do this little love you card for you. So I'm going to flip this guy over. So same thing. So this guy is small, and he's a pretty basic shape, nothing too crazy in here. And I don't put a lot of pressure on the outside of my shapes either, girls. So like when I'm doing this tracing, I'm not pushing my pencil lead hard against my edges. So that's going to create less movement as well. I'm literally just kind of holding my pencil up and using the edge of the cut file as a guide. So I'll just set that side, set the guy aside. I'm just going to cut this off, and then I'll cut this guy out. So yeah, so sorry, I totally was just trying to make sure I didn't miss any of your questions. I always go back afterwards though and try to make sure that I answer if I've missed seeing something. So if you have a question, definitely type it in, and if I miss it while we're live here together, I will for sure go back after class and I will read them. Okay, so there's my little one, super quick and easy. I'll get a little bit of glue on the back of this guy, and then we'll get him stuck down because I really want to show you this little card because I have a few little tips that I do with something like this particular file that I cut out. So same this guy, make sure I'm not trying to stick to my paper. And then, so see, look, like I put the glue on, but I obviously like missed the edge a little bit at the top here. So then just come back after and just stick it down and it's good. Voila. Bob's your uncle. Cute, right? I love this file. You guys have to have this file. This is such a great file. So this is so much fun to, obviously on a big 12 by 12 layout, but as I showed you earlier, on lots of other different projects too. And then I like raising them up with 3D foam and putting them on my projects as well. So super easy. Those are my tips and tricks for that. But I wanted to show you this card real quick before I let you go as well. I'm just going to get these guys out of the way. So what have I got here? I've got this one and I got this small one. And then I just want to show you this card. So the papers that I cut out for this card are from our other new kit. It's our So Much Love kit. It's also featuring a collection by Simple Stories, which I freaking love. It's adorable. And then I cut these little pieces out already, but I'm going to show you how I'm doing this. So this cut file is larger than this. So it comes, when you cut it out on your mat, it's quite a bit larger. And I want to say they're more like 2.5 by 3.5 or so, the size. But here's the fun thing. I cut this down, obviously quite a bit smaller, and I did it so that it would fit on like a tent size. This is an A2 size card, so 5.5 by 4.25. And then I made it so that this would fit as a banner on the front of my card. But here's the other cool thing. So though this comes in the file all as one, and you can cut it just on one sheet, you can pull each of these letters and you can cut them separate as well. So if you wanted to make them like 8.5 by 11, like if you wanted to make them large and do them like as a banner for your mantle or in your kitchen or across a window, you can pull these and make this a big large banner as well. So definitely some fun things you can do with this coming up for Valentine's Day, but I wanted to show you how to do it on a card. So obviously you can definitely do the same thing if you wanted to trace this out, but you don't have to. So I don't want these little holes covered because I'm going to be putting my twine through those. So all I did was I just took my ruler, I measured how big I made my little banner pieces. So they're about 1 1/8, and they're by, the letter itself is a little, about the same, 1 1/8 is the letter. So all you need to do is cut a little piece of paper. So I cut these to 1 by 1 1/4, and then I can just back it like that. Because this is going on my card, so you're not going to see that, right? So it doesn't matter. So I just picked all of my papers, and I made them the sizes, just the 1 by the 1 1/4. And then I can just back these onto the back of these little guys here. So all I'm going to do, same thing, I'm just going to put my glue like around, I mean, and look at how, I mean, this is not precision. Like I'm not being super fancy dancy about that. I just want to do it so that my letter is covered. Just like that, because I'm not even going to see that anyway, right? So if you're doing your big, huge banner, I'm actually doing a banner, and I'm going to share it with you guys how I did it, but you can do it where you cut even larger, so you can even mat your paper as well. And again, this paper that I cut the banner pieces out of, it's actually a pattern paper, so it's a black tone-on-tone pattern paper, so it has the white core, which allowed me to do the sanding. I don't know if you guys can see that really well. But there's the white edges. I did a little bit of sanding on the edges. So that's all I've done with this. Super quick and easy. This makes this part of a project really quick when you can just cut out the pieces like this. And it works better. I'm going to make this one actually a little bit shorter because I don't want to cover my, there, I don't want to cover my little spots to put my twine. But yeah, so it just different ways. So when you see cut files, don't be like, oh, I'd never use that on a page or whatever. You might not ever use something on a page, but you might use it for another project because you can make them different sizes. So don't be afraid to try something a little different. Cut files can be so fun. And then also, if you want to get super crafty and not just do it, not just do it with paper, you can, I actually have one customer who's amazing. She's super talented and she works with pillows and totes. So she's actually going to be doing some projects using our cut files on her pillows and totes. So you can do it like with the vinyl. So if you have your cutting machine and you are wanting to try something different, there are all kinds of projects. You can make the projects where you make your tumblers, like drinks, your glasses, coffee mugs. So when you think cutting machine, you're like, oh, am I really going to use it that much? Like for your paper crafting, you might not, but you might find something else that you totally love doing with it. So it is, I feel, very worth the investment. I love having it. It's something that just kind of opens up your crafting just in a different way. So look, how quick and fun was that? And then I can go ahead and I can add my twine through those, and I'm going to have them be like my banner across the front of my card. So that's it. Girls, super easy. There is nothing hard, nothing crazy. It's just a little time consuming, right? So if you don't mind, yes, Sarah, yes, Samantha from Late Night Pillow Company. So she's actually picked a couple files she's going to use on some projects of hers, which is really, really fun. So just something different, right? So anyway, so these are them, super fun and easy, not hard at all. And those are just some tricks for me. So right away, like I said, just your tools, right? A really good pair of precision scissors, a really sharp pencil, and then your pieces for actually working with the files and taking your files off your mats. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you ladies that have never done it before. If it's something that you're just thinking about, you're not too sure if you want to delve into it or not, it's cool. It's super fun. It's just a really neat thing to do with your paper crafting. So like I said, our cut files work, and we've put it all on the website, but our cut files work with the Silhouette, the Cameo, the Cricut, the Brother Scan and Cut, all of those, and the file types are all listed. So when you go to the cut files section, so you're going to go to the website, shopjenniferedwardson.com, click on digital, do the drop down menu to cut files, and right in the description, we tell you the 3 file types that you get with it. The SVG file type, that's the one where if you want to do different projects, so your vinyl, leather, your coffee mugs, like all of that kind of stuff, that's what you're going to use is the SVG file. But yeah, there's 3 different file types, and they just download, you purchase them, and you get the link, and you can download them right to your computer and use them with your cutting machines. So we are not tech support. If you guys have any questions to do with your machines, you guys know my limitations with technology. I'm pretty handy with my own, but it's just I've learned it by researching on websites, and so many women are super, super handy, and there's all kinds of websites and YouTube videos and things. If you're having a problem with the cut file itself, come to us and we will definitely figure that out for you. But if you have any questions, about the cut files, definitely. But hopefully that helped and just gave you a little bit of a insight on how I do them anyway. Susan, for sure. Oh, you're welcome, Antoinette. You're welcome, Jennifer. Yeah, for sure. It's, I know we all had the older machines too, right? Like, God, I had the original, I think I had one of the original Cricuts. I had one of the original Silhouette machines as well, and I updated it last year. And it was worth it. Really, really worth it. But also too, figuring out what machine works best for you, because the technology is really different on all of them, right? So one thing that I do know is that the Cricut is more user-friendly right out of the box than the Silhouette Cameo is. The Cameo is a lot more technologically advanced, I would say. There's a lot more to learn with the software. But if that's your jam, well, then you're fine. I figured it out, you guys. God, if I can figure it out, you guys can figure it out. Oh, Tam, good. You made pillow covers for Christmas gifts. Amazing. Yeah, for sure. Well, our files work for all of that. So you definitely can use them for all those things. So I hope this helped. I hope that was fun for you. Yeah, Cricut Maker for all the things. Totally agree. Absolutely. No, all of those tools are amazing. So yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. And like I said, there are a handful of the kits that I used tonight still on the website. The Hello 2021, I want to say under 10. There's not a ton left. And then the Valentine's one, it's called So Much Love. Sorry, totally fell out of my head. That it's coming back on Friday. I only had a handful of kits to start. I wasn't sure whether or not it was going to be a kit that people were going to love. And oh my God, it sold out. I mean, I think it was like 2 hours or something. Like it was silly. But anyway, I reordered it Monday morning and it'll be here by Friday. So you can pre-order that on the site and then you'll get one right away. Okay. I think that's all I got for you for Wednesday night. We were together longer than we normally are. Thank you for stopping by and joining me. This weekend is a Facebook Live for layouts, so you'll get a new sketch come out on Friday, and I hope you'll join me on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. I'm going to go and finish my Caesar. Cheers to you for making it to Wednesday evening, and I will see you guys soon. Okay? Bye.